definition of beauty would just be like an all-around good girl. Of course, I do think physical attraction is a good thing, but just like a smart person.
I think I don't know, my definition of beauty depends on the person. It's whatever each individual person thinks, and each person has their own kind of ideal of what they think is beautiful.
Internal and external beauty, what someone is, like how they act, the type of person, their morals, everything, and then obviously how they look.
I don't know what that is.
Like the media has a role, like making women think that they need to be a certain image.
I think the beauty myth is the standard that media forces women to portray, themselves as, I guess. I don't know what it means to me, not a whole lot.
I do not know what the beauty myth is.
Like as they get older at different ages, there are different things that are acceptable. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with a 6th grader wearing lip gloss, but by high school, they shouldn't be wearing like smoky eyes to school. Everything's in moderation, but
I think it depends on the person. I think once a girl reaches a maturity level where she can handle, wearing makeup, but not feeling like she needs the makeup to feel good about herself.
I don't know. I grew up with 3 sisters, and they all started at different ages. I feel like my younger sisters started earlier because they saw, their role models, my older sisters doing, putting makeup on, going to high school. I guess if I was a father, I would have a different perspective on it. So again, going back to just different standards, it just depends.
I would say high school. I wore it in middle school, and my older sister wore it then, so I kind of felt like I wanted to do it before her. I know she wasn't allowed to wear it until high school, so maybe like 15, something like that.
I think most people like to look in the mirror and like what they see. I think most people do, regardless of what other people think they look like. If not, that's kind of sad. But yeah, for the most part, I think people like to look good and they like to better themselves.
I think it's both. I think that women do chase beauty because of society, like what society expects of them. But at the same time, I know myself, I do enjoy like getting ready and buying stuff that society expects in a way.
yeah, definitely. I think that a lot of women hold themselves like to a certain standard that men put them at or the media puts them at, and then there are other women that hold themselves to a standard that other women put them at, like models or even their friends.
I think there is. Yeah, I think it's in everyone's head, just the thought of I have to look beautiful.
I think girls enjoy like wearing makeup, like dressing themselves up, looking nice, like looking real presentable. I guess sometimes they feel like they would have to if they have like a bunch of like zits on their face. They might want to cover it up. They feel like they have to. Just saying. I feel like sometimes I feel like they have to, like, oh, I look real bad today, like, I gotta wear makeup. And some days they're like, oh, I'm going out, like, I just want to look super, like, done up, like, show people, like, I'm trying to, like, make myself look good, like, I'm not a slob.
I don't know if it's that they feel that they have to, but maybe it's more, like, expected to wear makeup. I know myself, I like myself better with makeup on.
Again, I think it depends on the person. I think people with really high levels of self-respect and self-esteem wear it more, when they want to, and then, some people feel obligated to, so they wear it because they think they have to.
A huge role, obviously. When you have shows like America's Next Top Model or even shows like, Jersey Shore, it's going to appeal to different audiences, different types of women, and they're going to feel that they need to meet that criteria or weight, whatever it is. If they're advertising everyone with a size 0, then every woman's going to feel like they need to be a size 0.
I would say it definitely creates a big role, especially with younger children, because they're going to try to mimic and imitate what they see on TV. And when the media portrays, you know, beauty one way, they're going to try to follow that. And, you know.
I think it plays a pretty big role because girls watch a lot of like TV, watch a lot of like modeling shows, and they watch like Victoria's Secret, Model Off, and that's kind of what they see as like being the ideal beauty. So they try and like dress themselves up to that, and like just all women on TV typically are pretty good looking. That's the kind of women that people want to put on TV, so they'll watch the show. So like naturally, if a bunch of beautiful women are on TV, girls are going to want to be like that because they see that people like that. So I think it plays a pretty big role.
I think it plays a huge role with magazines and TV. It's what the skinny people, skinny and tall, or just very pretty, perfect girls is what society kind of portrays beauty
I
as.
think it plays a huge role because the media has an effect on everything and every aspect of life, and whatever they portray is going to be, you know, you're going to have that thought in your head, well, this is beautiful.
Sure.
I think most people are to a certain degree, especially first impressions are always taught to be very important just for that reason, because the first thing you see, or when you see someone, the first thing you see about them is what your first impression is, not the first thing they say or how they treat you later on.
Yeah, I think appearance plays a huge role when you first meet somebody.
At first, definitely. Like that's why when we go out to bars or like go to hang out, we put on like a collared shirt, and girls wear like a dress or like nice. I think it plays like a super big role first off, but then once you get to know somebody, you start to see like their whole personality, you know.
Right. Good answer.
Where you could be more attracted to a girl that's not as good looking because she's way cool.
So I think everyone subconsciously judges based on appearance.
I agree that, like, I believe that. I don't personally. I wouldn't rather lose 15 pounds and get a job or have a family or whatever it is, but there are definitely women that would rather lose 15 pounds than anything else.
I mean, that seems like a really, you know, a slight superficial goal, but it doesn't surprise me that that would be the main goal for that many women.
I think that's kind of like a drastic statement, but I could see that being an issue because I know weight is like a huge issue for girls.
That seems pretty silly to me. Over being super successful or having a great family or being happy, that seems like a pretty trivial thing. It's not even that much weight, I feel like.
Okay.
Maybe 50.
Personally, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't mind putting on 5 pounds, but that's just me.
I mean, obviously, physical appearance is a big part of what, you know, makes a woman attractive. But, you know, for me personally, I want a really kind girl, you know, someone who's smart enough to carry on a conversation and not just, you know, pretty dumb. But the ideal woman that the media portrays that's standardized to, like, you know, our American culture can cook, can clean, can make everything that, you know, make a guy happy pretty much. And that's about, and look good. And that's the extent to, you know.
I guess that was like my definition of beauty. I would just say like an all-around girl. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the most attractive person, just someone that smart, easy to talk to, good personality, and attractive, I guess, in a way.
Ideal woman. Like, you know, nice, like I said, what beauty was, like, you know, real good looking, really nice. But also, I feel like women do stuff that men aren't as good at, like maybe a girl that likes to clean up the house, maybe a girl that loves cooking, just because I feel like women naturally kind of like to take care of people. And they, you know, not to say that guys shouldn't do that, clean and stuff, but, you know, like a domestic girl, it's cool with like taking care of the house, stays off the road. I'm just kidding. And, you know, super cool, adventurous, it's real nice.
I think the ideal woman is somebody who presents themselves well and who is driven and smart and just ready to take on a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at like different TV shows and everything, like back to like the 50s, like if you're comparing like Leave It to Beaver, I don't know what is that the show, what it's
Yeah.
called. Okay, if you like compare that to like Modern Family, I mean the women are definitely different, what they look like and how they act, everything.
I would say it will definitely change. I mean, everything changes every year. The media changes, so that standard, if we're talking about women adhering to that, being forcibly adhering to that, is going to constantly change. Everything around us changes, so I don't see why that wouldn't change either.
Yeah, I would say so. I guess times like are changing, but at the same time, women are portrayed to be like that kind of perfect, whatever perfect is at that time.
Yeah, I mean, everything's gonna change. I think like it's probably changed a lot since 30 years ago. Like I think it's gonna keep getting more liberal, where girls are gonna keep like being whores on TV and like doing ridiculous like not cool things on like reality shows and stuff. I think that's gonna change.
I think it's constantly changing. I mean, if you compare Marilyn Monroe to the sick thin models that are walking in shows now, I think it's very different.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know that I personally don't feel as good about myself when I see like Victoria's Secret models walking down the runway.
Yeah, I think that would.
I think so, yeah. I think if they didn't put a certain image in everyone's head, that it'd be a little more subjective and based on a personal.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't feel like they would have to live up to something.